Hello, this is Cece, and you are listening to WGSN-DB Going Solo Network. We are showcasing both Going Solo with Cece and the Author's Corner, Meet the Author. And today we have with us Barry Shelby. And Barry Shelby is from Los Angeles. He is very passionate about the divine feminine. He is a best-selling author, speaker, and a relationship attraction expert. He has a brand new book out, which is called 50 Ways to Love Your Lover. And I think it's a #1 selling book. It's awesome. It's great to have you on the show. Thanks for coming, Barry.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me on the show.
Yeah, it's nice to have you. So tell us a little bit about your journey. How did you get to be a relationship attraction expert? I think that's very unique, isn't it?
Well, really blunt about it, I wasn't born that way. Like most people, I didn't come in with a user manual or have any skills growing up, but I found myself becoming innately guided to be the safe place for women to come to. I mean, literally as a school kid. Now, I wasn't a jock, I wasn't a player. I wasn't one of the homecoming king, queen, whatever you call that. I mean, this back in England, so different. But I was always the safe place that the girls would come to when they had to break up with their boyfriends. I didn't know then what I know now, that in fact that will become the seeds are planted where I'm going now. But the truth also is, for my own journey, I've had enough of my own share of dysfunctional relationships.
That's putting it nicely, isn't it? Okay.
Yes. Having had 3 that ended the same way, my awareness was such that I was going, something's obviously off inside of me, because I knew that it wasn't them. If it's 3 that happened the same way, I'm the common denominator. What did I miss? What did I confuse myself? What did I not do? And that put me in a deep dive into the work I've started studying, which I teach now. So the last 10, 11 years, I think it's been, where I've been really passionately involved in the whole polarity piece that really changed my work and my understanding. And I've been studying stuff for 30 years altogether. So I bring quite a lot of experience to the table and realize this is what I need to share, because so many people don't understand this stuff.
Yeah, relationships are very difficult, and I like the idea that you want to embrace women and you want to help them be able to better understand themselves as they can move through any type of relationship loss, but to also attract the next partner to them, raising their vibration so they have a better understanding about themselves. So, and your book, how did you come across writing this book? I love the title, 50 Ways to Love Your Lover. And so often we don't do that, do we? We don't love them enough sometimes, I think.
The truth is, in this book is actually going to become the first of 3. I've become very clear the last month or so that I've got 2 more coming. The 50 Ways to Love Your Lover is a book for singles and couples, men and women. It's not just for relationships, so it's got more content than that. The book actually came about, my first draft happened in 6 weeks, which was insane. I mean, I had no reference point. I never planned to be an author. I still don't really understand that I'm an author. But having written the book, I can't deny it now. But the book really has content that really came through me as principles. And I was putting out on social media, this back in 2011, I think, 2012. A friend of mine said, just sharing them into the social media world, what you believe about relationships. So I did. And I had all these different ideas that I put out there that collected into a Word document after about 6 weeks of this, or about 2 months or so. And I just had it in a Word document. I'm sitting there going, well, I don't know what to do with this. I'm not going to keep posting this stuff, but I'll do a workshop maybe or something else. And this little voice inside said, write a book. And for a week or 2, probably 3, I denied or argued. Well, I didn't even argue. I just ignored their voice. And I would say, I'll do something with this. And the voice would say, write a book. And it was just repetitive and consistent. About 2 or 3 weeks in, I finally, out of frustration, said, all right, fine. And, I mean, this is comical. It's almost like a sitcom in my head. But I looked back at the voice inside and said, so if I'm writing a book, how do I do it? And literally, it laid out the whole plan. And I did the first draft done in 6 weeks. And then I got scared, because I've learned over the last 10 years of the work I've done for masculine work, because I've been single for 10 years. Because I was so clear that the masculine must live its purpose first, then a relationship can come forward after that. For women, it's different, but for men, especially now masculine, purpose-driven life is the focus that the relationship will succeed with. If I don't have that, it won't succeed, and I prove that to myself it doesn't work. So when I wrote the book, I realized that I'd be publishing it and becoming visible. That would mean I'd be ready for a relationship. I didn't think I was, so I got scared. And so for a year, I put the book off. But I finally owned up to the fact that the book had to be done regardless, and so I put it out. Actually, it came out at the end of 2013. And then 2014, I did the Kindle version and got to become bestseller. And the rest, as they say, is history.
Wonderful. So, are you in a relationship?
I'm
Or are
still
you
single.
single? Pardon?
I'm still single.
You're still single, so you're ready now. So ladies out there, he's like, he's single and ready.
Yeah,
Just read his book, and then you got it. Yeah, sure.
That's what took it being very interesting conversation. Yeah.
But you know what? It's funny is that things just happen to us, and even I know that we have some sad things that do happen to some bad things, but our path is really, it's a journey that we go on. And I love what you are sharing with us, because you're sharing that even out of the depths of something that was troubling for you, that you struggled with, you were able to turn it around, move it forward, and really bring it to everyone's attention so that you can share your journey with them and have them understand that, hey, you're not alone. We're kind of doing all this together, and relationships are difficult, and maybe we make them difficult ourselves. I don't know. But, it's nice to have something that we can reference to and come back to. So, yeah, I think it's great.
Well, the thing is, and I was talking about something about this recently with a friend, and they said, you should brand this. And I was like, well, maybe I will. But the thing I've come to understand is that, there are plenty of business coaches out there to help you build your business and launch your work and that sort of stuff, and financial planners to help with your money. And there are health coaches out there to help you with diet or get fit, something like that. And when it comes to relationships, there are people like myself who are relationship coaches, but nobody seems to think they need it. And the crazy thing is that people would rather get a free download of an app on their phone. They can swipe left and right to get what they want. Yet relationship is one of the biggest impacts in our life, because if your relationship is healthy, the rest of your life works. If your relationship is not healthy, the rest of your life generally tanks, because our inner state impacts our business, our health, and our finances. So why would you not get some help from somebody who knows more about relationships than you do to put you on the path to where you want to go? And that makes sense to me.
Yeah, absolutely. The thing is, and we just had this discussion this weekend. We had a date chat night. We'll have to have you come on as a guest. But we had one, and one thing that we were actually talking about is that we were talking a little bit about online dating, and I do it a lot on another show that I'm on, a boy and girl thing. And but you can meet someone. But then what do you do after that? It's building that relationship. It's that connecting that we're struggling with. And I agree with you. I feel, what you're doing, your relationship attraction expert, I think it's definitely important, because sure, we can meet people every day, but where do we go from there? What do we do? How do we hang on? How do we embrace what we have? How do we openly share? Because so often, because we're hurt by our past, we're not open with that. So definitely, I think your book is really great. Can you give us a couple little tidbits on your book when you talk about the 50 ways to love your lover? Not giving away the whole book, just a couple little things.
Well, there are 50 principles. I'll give you a couple of them.
Okay.
One of them for people, basically, right, let me back up. If you're single, one thing that's very important to realize is that you're not looking for your other half. There's a trap that we've been trained to fall into where we're not complete without somebody else filling us up. And that is an illusion. And it's also not true. So in my book, I talk about how relationships are not 50-50, they're 100-100. And you can only be in a healthy relationship if you're really being healthy and whole in who you are, and attracting a partner is the same way themselves. So a relationship really is 200%, not 100. So it's 100-100, which is 200.
Right.
When a relationship is dependent, and this is the key, when you're bringing it 50%, you are dependent upon somebody else. You're going to attract a codependent relationship. And two of my favorite teachers, Gay and Katie Hendricks, wrote a book called Conscious Loving many years ago, 20 plus years ago. But that book was probably the best description and healing for codependent paradigm of relationship, because we fall in a place where we are a victim of the other person's behavior. Because if they don't do what we want, we get upset. And what they do is nothing up to us. And so this trap we fall into is we don't thrive, we don't succeed unless our partner's with us, which means we can't do it ourselves. And that's a very handicapped way of living life. So one of the keys I take in my book is about really living in your own fulfillment, so you become overflowing of your own relationship of love, so you can attract a partner who overflows back with you. Then it becomes a very additive relationship versus filling some sort of gap. So right. It was a big one, I guess.
Yeah, that is so important. And I love the idea of that, because, often I tell singles that I feel that you have to be okay with being single. And that's why I built my whole business on going solo, because I think we have to embrace who we are, where we're at, and it's okay. It's absolutely all right. And once you're okay with it, that's when your vibration is so high that you attract someone, I think, of the same being in your life.
So the other one I'll give, which is for couples, since I get both sides of the conversation, is, and this is how I learned a long time ago, and I watch people do this, is early in the relationship, if you're in love with somebody and you want to grow this relationship, plan a trip and go away somewhere you both have never been before. The reason being is when you do this, one, it's an adventure and you get to know what each other's like when you're outside of your comfort zones. But two, you're not relying on your old patterns and old environments, and we are comfortable. The idea being is you're both in a place that is, in quotes, uncomfortable because it's not something you know already. And being in a new place is when you start to learn about each other's true behaviors. So it's a great place to study and learn about each other as you explore the environment you're in, because it is the way that you learn what your true values are. And it's such a simple thing. If you can go overseas, it's even better, because if there's a language barrier, even more challenging. Because the thing is, when they challenge you like this, they're not like devastating challenges, but they challenge you to be your best. And they challenge you to see how you react to not being understood, not being in a place that's comfortable for you. And then your partner can see you as you really are. For some people, this is scary, I know. But if you are willing to do this, it will absolutely guarantee that your ability to be together is clear or not. And so it's a great way of clarifying your attachment to each other and attraction to each other.
That's very fascinating, because it is true. It's so true. And I think as being a woman, going someplace with a man, a place I've never been before, it allows me, I feel, to be a little bit of a woman, allowing him to kind of take the role a little bit and lean on him a little bit to try to guide me through to get through wherever we are. Because so often, if we're in our own comfort zone, I think us as women, we tend, especially the ones that are stronger and independent, we tend to like mow right over, and we don't allow a man to be a man when he needs to be one. And so
that's the lesson I've been learning. And also those are my ideal clients, to be honest. They're the ones that I used to date, so I know exactly how it feels to be on the receiving end of that, and also how to guide them back into their feminine so they can really live in a way that's healthy in relationship, but also not give up their power in the world.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Well, tell us how we can get a hold of you. If anyone's out there listening and they want to get your book and they want to check out your website, what is your information?
It's easy. My name is Barry Shelby, as you mentioned. Actually, it's Shelby without an H, so it's BARRYSELBY.com is my website. And on the website, you can go to that /book to get my book. Or if you want to get a discovery session with me to find out more about how I can help you, just go to /chat. And the rest of my site's open for browsing. There's media, there's my coaching program, and other things are on there too. So
that's great. That's great. Well, I'll tell you what, let's take a quick break. And when we come back, let's get back into, what we're talking about on relationships, building relationships and helping us move forward. I'd like to kind of know a little bit more about why you chose to kind of help the ladies instead of the men, although I know that you do probably help men too. So we'll talk about that a little bit more when we come back. So we are talking with Barry Shelby, and we'll be right back. You are listening to WGSN-DB Going Solo Network. This is Going Solo with Cece, and we're embracing also the Author's Corner, Meet the Author, because we have a fantastic author with us today, Barry Shelby, with his brand new book, which is 50 Ways to Love Your Lover, and I think it's very interesting. So I want to thank all of you listeners out there that are listening to us on WGSN-DB. I know that we are here with you for all of our, single talk shows. We have motivational talk shows. We have dating talk shows. We have dating experts. We have divorce recovery experts. We have transition into dating, really moving on with your life as being single. And what's more important to us is that you're okay with being single. So that's what it's all about, changing lives one talk show at a time. So thank you for listening to WGSN-DB Going Solo Network. And we're going to head right back into the show because we got a jam-packed half an hour here, and I know we've used up 15 minutes, so we want to get back to it. So again, you are listening to WGSN-DB Going Solo Network. I am Cece Schatz. You are listening to Going Solo with Cece, and we are embracing the Author's Corner, Meet the Author. And we have Barry Shelby with us. He has a terrific book, which is 50 Ways to Love Your Lover. He is a best-selling author, because this book is like #1. It's really already reached there. He's a speaker, a relationship attraction expert, and welcome back to the show.
Thank you.
Great. You know, the first half of the show was awesome because you shared with us a couple tips or a couple, items, I think, out of the book. There's 50 there. And just those two shows me that I personally am going to go out and get the book because I have not read the book completely. So I want to be able to do that. Just some of the excerpts that I've had on it to be able to know that it's a good book to bring forward. Right. So tell us, how did you decide to make your focus of your coaching or, you're helping others mainly in a female environment versus a male, although I know that you do help males too. So tell us a little bit why you do kind of focus a little bit more on the female.
There's a couple of ways I want to say this. One is that I'm very drawn to and have been around women much of my life. And it started with my mother, I think, really where it came from when I was a kid. But when I started doing the work the last 10 years about the masculine feminine polarity, I just saw women, when they are in their feminine magnificence, and is magnificent, they become such an attractive energy on the planet to the good and what can make a difference, that it's almost what inspires me most to serve women in helping them there, because there's there's deeper calling coming through my work beyond the area of relationship, which is life itself, which is helping women own their gifts in the world. So that's something I didn't know was being the back, but it's been pushing through slowly but surely. So helping women in the world lead in their feminine and be a big difference maker is a part of my work, because there aren't any men talking about this that I'm aware of. There are women talking about this, I know, who are feminine leaders, but to have a man speak to women from this place, I think is I trust, is both very assuring and also inspirational. The reason why, though, I work with women in coaching, partly is because of that. Secondly, because I've learned, and it's something I've sort of discovered over the years of seeing other dating coaches and other frameworks, that most men who are clients will seek out a woman for coaching about relationships. They want to see the other side of the conversation. Most men will see a male coach to learn about getting dating and hookups. And that's not their strength, to be honest.
Right.
Most women who are clients will seek out other women who really want a shoulder to cry on, perhaps, and also feel sisterhood and a sense of collaboration. But they will seek out a male coach, such as myself, because they get clarity about how men work. And secondly, they'll get some guidance that is much more direct and focused, because we as masculine energy are more directed and focused. So there's a sense of reciprocation between myself and female clients. Yes, I do work with men too, whose hearts are opening up to loving more fully because I've walked that path. But most men out there aren't interested in hearing it from me. I've noticed that. And I don't have an attachment to that because, frankly, I love working with women, because seeing women shine thrills me and fills my heart too. So that's why I do what I do.
Wow, that's very interesting. And, as you're talking, I can definitely relate to some of that, because I have a lot of ladies. I do divorce recovery a great deal. And so I have a lot of ladies, and I have a lot of men too. But as we're transitioning on, the women tend to move forward, and the men will stay with me through the transition, because they struggle with moving on through to the relationship, because they really do want, the ones that are like that, they really do want a good, solid relationship. So they're not looking for like the hookup or anything like that. They realize that they actually realize some of the mistakes they made in their past relationship, and they don't want to remake those mistakes. And so they, I can see that. I can definitely see how the women can relate to the men in that respect, and vice versa. So yeah, that's very interesting. And coaching is so important. So I like what you're doing. I like that you're embracing people and changing lives. And it's a great avenue to be able to help someone and see the change. Like you said, see a woman shine. It's amazing. Yeah, isn't it? It's amazing. Well, do you have anything else that you would like to share with us? Anything that with regards to, helping a relationship move forward? If you kind of find yourself a little bit stuck?
I would say the biggest, and this is something I've said before in other places, and I always tell my email audience about this too, and it's one of the simplest things you can think of, is that we are so programmed to look outside ourselves for love and for those connections. Here's my homework assignment I give to everybody, so you can take this one of them as well, for everybody watching and listening. If you take 5 minutes in the morning and 5 minutes in the evening to spend privately with yourself in front of the mirror, and you tell yourself you love yourself as a tune-up, as it were, or as a reminder, if you do it at the beginning of the day, it will change your day going forward. If you do it at the end of the day, it will release what's come before. Do this every day, 5 minutes in the morning, 5 minutes in the evening, for a week or two, your life will transform.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, that's great. I know people often say to me, "Oh, you don't have that many wrinkles," and I say it's because I smile all the time. So they think they're all,
Okay.
yeah, they think they're all smiling. But if I'm all sad, you see the wrinkles, but you just keep us smiling. So I like that idea about looking in the mirror and really kind of understanding yourself and realizing that it's not bad. We're just not that bad, are we? So
Who you are is amazing, and you may have
yeah.
experienced stuff that was making you feel less than that, and that's not who you are. Who you are is amazing. So own it, live it, embrace it, and share it.
That's great. So tell us if someone wanted to reach you to do some coaching, can you do it far away? Are you able to do it through Skype, or do they have to live there, or how does that work for you?
My most recent overseas client was in Hong Kong.
Wow.
Actually, the scheduling time, but we do it on Skype. So Skype, in fact, we actually, because I tend to be very responsive to my clients, so we do have texting available. Because she's in China, or actually in Hong Kong rather than here, we're using WhatsApp because that is an international texting ability. So location is not required. The key thing is just making the schedules work at both ends, because some clients, and I've got a couple in Europe, their evening is my morning, so we've got to figure out a time that works. So that's the biggest challenge. So international, not a problem. As long as you have a computer or connection with Skype and we can text, we're good to go.
That's good. And then what is your email if someone wanted to reach you?
My email is very simple. It's Barry, B-A-R-R-Y, at barryselby.com.
That's great.
All social media is the same as well. My name is Barry Selby, and that's where I'm living on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, everywhere.
Right. So they can connect with you on all the social media, and this way they'll know where you're at and what you're doing and that kind of thing. And I think it's great. And definitely go out and get your book. And we can buy your book right on your website, right?
Get the ebook right straight away for download tonight, so you can read it right away. If you want the physical book, you can order it then. It takes about 3 weeks, and you'll get it shipped.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And the book's name is 50 Ways to Love Your Lover, right there. Yeah,
Yes.
it's a great book.
You go to 50waystoloveyyourlover.com, which is straight to that page, or go to barryselby.com/book to get to the book as well. Either way works.
That's great. Okay. Now, is it on Amazon or is it just through your website?
The physical book's on Amazon, the ebook's on my site, and the physical book, and then the Kindle version's on Amazon as well.
Okay. So I would recommend going to his website, so that way you get all of the information. You get all of his information. I'm sure you've got a lot of articles and different things like that you can, that people will share and understand and relate to. And then, if they want to connect with you and maybe have a little chat, they can do that. And I hope that if you do it after you listen to this show, you will let them know that you listened to the radio program and that with CC, and that you definitely wanted to contact him. So I hope that they do that. So it's great having you on the show. I appreciate your time.
My pleasure, Stacey. Thanks for having me on the show. It's a great honor to be here. Thank you.
It's super. And you are from Los Angeles, and just so that everyone knows that you are. So if you are local there in Los Angeles, it would be very convenient for you to meet. But if not, the internet is just great. It's like our best friend, isn't it?
And the phone works too, so either way, yes.
Absolutely. Okay, well, we're going to go ahead and close out the show just one more time. Give them your contact information so they have it.
Just go to my site, which is Barry Selby, BARRYSELBY.com. You find me there. You can go to my email, which is barry@barryselby.com, and get my book, check out my programs and coaching, and everything's there.
That's wonderful. And you can connect with him on all his social media under Barry Selby. Just contact him then and join it. So we're going to have to close out the show. The time goes very quickly, and I thank you so much. This is Cece with Going Solo. We hope that you will join us also on our Facebook page, which is Going Solo with Cece. It's a group, and you can just join that. You can join the WGSN-DB Going Solo Network Facebook page, and then also my own personal page, which is Cece Shat. So I'd love to have you any way possible. I'm LinkedIn. I'm on most of the social media, and I try to keep up with it as much as I possibly can. But we're busy out there, and I love it. It's a passion, so we're loving every moment of it. So we're going to close the show, and I want to thank you so much for joining me. I hope I see you all again soon. This is Cece with Going Solo. You are listening to WGSN-DB Going Solo Network. Bye for now.